If you're an empath, this is the video for you. I want to talk about physical empaths today, or what I like to call psychic traffic. Um, Physical empath is someone whose energy is porous enough to take on the symptoms and energy of those people around them. You're a highly sensitive person that can manifest symptoms of those around you. Physical empaths typically do not have the same defenses or the same energetic boundaries around them, and they often will take on other people's emotions, symptoms of illness or feelings and so on. And this can really be confusing. It makes me think of the 90s, early 2000s, when so many people were suffering from fibromyalgia, for instance, and they would go to the doctor and they'd say, nothing's wrong, there's nothing physical going on with you, maybe this is mental or emotional. I think that there's been a great forward movement in the medical field to understand that we do share energy, and subtle energy is a thing that can affect the body just as much as a physical illness. Kind of like when you walk into a room and maybe there's been some arguing or some heavy energy there, you would certainly feel it. Or you get with a group of people that you love, family that you love, and there's this feeling of lightheartedness and happiness that is contagious. So empathy, physical empathy, works in much the same way. So you may be a physical empath if you have some of these symptoms, and that would be, being told that you're overly sensitive, maybe even hypochondria sometimes. You can suddenly feel tired and anxious, like you want to take a nap after you've been with a lot of people. Do you feel uneasy or sick or tired if you're in large crowds? Do you avoid large crowds like concerts and large festivals, that sort of thing? You can feel anxiety, stress, physical symptoms if you're in a hospital, say, or nursing home, unexplained symptoms, chronic fatigue. And are you overwhelmed by the world at large? I have to say that sounds like a lot of us, most of us actually, in this day and age. So these may be some symptoms that are indicative of being a physical empath. So learning about physical empathy can be a real revelation to some people. It can really help change some of those symptoms around when we can manage our own energy, set boundaries, and just have a deeper understanding of how subtle energies can really affect us, especially if we're a highly sensitive person. You are not crazy. You are a sensitive person with a gift. And that's really how I like to look at that. We have a gift. We can sense what's going on under the surface. We can be so compassionate and connected that we can feel another's pain. But this is a skill. This is a gift that needs to be developed more than anything else. It's not something that we need to suffer with. We can begin to use it as a gift to connect with others and be compassionate and have a fuller understanding of what someone's going through when we need to, when we want to. So let me give you some examples of physical empathy. And this is the experience that I had recently My husband and I moved to a place that's next door to a hospital. And, you know, you get busy when you're moving. We moved, and, you know, you're unpacking things, you're setting your life up. And so you're just really busy. There's not a lot of time for awareness, or you're too tired for awareness. Anyway, I noticed that I was getting terrible headaches, or I'd wake up in the morning, and I don't typically have headaches. This is key. I don't typically have headaches. I also noticed like any little thing would set me off into some little tailspin in my head. I have a new freckle and oh my gosh, it must be cancer, or my heart would beat fast or something, and I think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a heart attack or a muscle spasm. Everything just seemed to be exaggerated from me, and I am incredibly healthy. I have no health concerns whatsoever, but these thoughts and feelings kind of intruded on me. So, you know, I would feel the heart palpitations or my head really starting to pound. And it occurred to me, with the help of my spirits, that these weren't my own symptoms or my own feelings. This is coming from outside of me. And that's really when I begin to take note about the hospital that's near where we live. And it is specifically a cancer center. So there's many people struggling with this sickness, this illness, their families, the fear, the sadness, the depression, all these things that can come when you're dealing with the challenges of illness that way. So that is an example of physical empathy. You might notice too, like when you stay a lot of time in hospitals, how tired you might be. Again, headaches, fatigue. I also have an example for bars and concerts, things like that. I can't go to a bar without preparing first, because what I noticed is I come away from there feeling, and for the next day or two, in my early experience, I would be depressed. I would have intrusive thoughts of depression, or very negative thoughts that were not my normal thinking pattern. So these are some examples. Let's say you spend time with some super negative people because you have to, or they're at work or wherever they might be, and you find that you are tired, done with the world, you have a headache, maybe you have a stomach ache. Digestion problems are a common symptom in physical empaths. So now that we've kind of established what it is, some of the things that can really happen to us as physical empaths, let's talk strategy, because we want to be centered, we want to be grounded, we want to be helpful to people, but not at the expense of our own well-being, not at the expense of our own health and peace of mind, right? So you have to surrender to the fact that you have this gift, this sensitive energy field that picks up on everything. A mantra that you might be able to use, or, you know, that can be helpful is, it's not my job to take on the pain of others in the world. It's not my job to take on the pain of others in the world. We want to be kind, we want to be compassionate, we want to get in there and help people when we can, but not at the expense of your own health or well-being. Certainly not. So, strategies here. What you really need to know is self-care is going to be like your number one priority. And this is a way that we can love ourselves too. So it really helps in a lot of ways with our own personal healing. And if you know me, I feel like if healing the healing process heals everyone involved, not just the person that's a client that's sitting in front of me, not just anyone. It's that healing helps all of us together as a whole, not just the person who's sick or needing guidance. So surrender to the fact that you are a highly sensitive person, and you are going to have to make spiritual and energetic hygiene a priority. That's it. You're going to have to do that, because otherwise you're going to get burnt out. You're going to get exhausted, and your cup is not going to be full. So a way that we can do that is to make sure we spend enough time disconnecting from others. Maybe get to a quiet place, find that little nook of yours where you can be alone for a few minutes to regroup, to ground, to center. And you really need to have that go-to practice for grounding and centering. So withdraw a little bit in nature, withdraw in your prayer room, wherever you can do that. And no talking about, in difficult conversations. Maybe you save those for later when you are fully feeling good and grounded in yourself. You want a peaceful environment. You want to cultivate a peaceful environment for yourself. You can also evaluate the situation. You can ask yourself, are these emotions or feelings, symptoms mine, or are they someone else's? They could be both, and that's okay. But it's really important to know what is your symptom versus someone else's. And this really creates awareness, and that's what you want to be. You want to learn to be fully aware of your own subtle energies, your own energetic bodies, and how they may be overlapping with others. If you find that it's a person that might be creating this discomfort in you, that you're absorbing and you're picking up on them, it's perfectly okay to move away. It really is. This could be like a situation at work. Maybe you're in cubicles and the person next door to you is dealing with some kind of sickness or depression or whatever that may be. You're sitting within 20 feet of them. You're sitting very close. Our energies do overlap. I mean, that is normal. So it's okay to move away. I can think of an example in a workshop once. A lady who I just adored. She was great. We were doing a workshop together, and I felt her need for space. Like there was like this rock, this wall next to me. And so I moved a few scoots away from her in the circle so that she would have enough space to just let her energy be what it was and not feel cramped and not feel vulnerable and uncomfortable. So there's an example. Don't be afraid to move away and to take some space. You can do this diplomatically if you need to. It doesn't have to be rude. You don't have to say, oh, your energy is really messing me up right now. You can just diplomatically move away. So another point I'd like to make is, again, we're cultivating awareness of our own energies so that we know when a different energy comes in, we know that that's not ours, right? So we really want to know where we feel things in our body. So you may get around people and you feel your gut, your solar plexus constrict. Maybe your throat starts to tickle, itch, or feel constricted. Maybe you get a buzz on the crown and the top of your head. These sorts of things. Is it your digestion? Do you suddenly get the bubbly guts? All these things. So be aware of where you typically feel it in your body. And so that will help you know when you are near others that are causing this kind of thing. Breath work. I think breath work is so underestimated. There's so much information and videos out there on different types of breath work to help for CPTSD in particular, I know a lot about, or just general anxiety. So breath work of any kind. You may notice when you're around people who are carrying a lot of anxiety or problems, you may notice that you hold your breath. So it's important to breathe deeply and to make sure you're breathing way down into the stomach, way down into the diaphragm. Make sure your lungs are full all the way to the bottom, into your guts. Another form of practice I think is so important in everything, not just in being a physical empath, is meditation. Find a meditation that you like. Do meditation as often as you can. It can only help you find your center, find peace. It helps your spiritual path and your spiritual growth. So meditation is always a priority. So you can also set healthy limits and boundaries. I mean, we can't be islands of only positive vibes. We cut people out anytime that there's any conflict. That's not healthy, and that's not what I'm talking about. But we can set healthy limits with people, maybe even family members that we know cause us some distress, or we're not, seeing eye to eye. Maybe we don't want to cut them completely out, but we can set healthy limits and boundaries. This goes with friends as well. So maybe you can only spend about an hour with so-and-so. Set those time limits. Maybe it's that you don't go to their house where you're kind of sitting in that soup of negativity. It's really up to you to set these boundaries. And you're going to know what these boundaries are the more that you become aware of yourself, your subtle energies, and what you need, without feeling guilty that you're setting boundaries. It's not our job. It's not better or more spiritual to be able to hold on to all these symptoms, sicknesses, and anxieties for others. We want them to be able to do that for themselves, just like we are, right? We want to take that responsibility. On the more spiritual side, you can use protection. You can do the lesser banishing of the pentagram. You can even go so far as just using visualization, which is, an important step, like to visualize golden light around you, visualize purple light around your third eye, in particular, golden light. However you want to do it. Be creative. Ask your spirits, your guides, ask your heart to show you how to protect yourself. And I don't even need to go into all the other forms of protection that you can use. Crystals, stones, oils. There's some protection oils, sage, sprays. Take those extra steps to protect yourself. You can prepare yourself to go into big crowds so you can enjoy that concert, or you can enjoy a few drinks and games with friends at the local pub. You can do these things with these strategies and awareness. You are able to enjoy those things without crashing for a week afterwards, right? Finally, I really like baths and showers. I use them frequently for spiritual hygiene, for energetic hygiene. I have Epsom salt right next to the tub, so you can take that Epsom salt and just really say a prayer, rub your skin down, and kind of watch any of that negativity wash off of you. So these are some examples of empathic, physical empaths, and the symptoms and the things and strategies that we can use. I hope that this is helpful. I hope that you can employ some of these strategies to to help you live a better empathic life, and that you can begin to strive to use these gifts to be helpful to others and not harmful to you. So thank you for watching. If you'd like to work with me, you can always make an appointment. My books are open right now. You can visit me at appalachiaoracle.com, and I really look forward to that. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.